Do you know anybody running for county commissioner?
Yeah, where's your cowboy hat?
It's in the truck.
Come on, we're just getting started.
Sorry to interrupt. Is this good side, bad side,
Well,
bad
this
side,
is,
good
you're
side?
gonna be on film, you're gonna sit on this side so that the camera's gonna be panning. We need an audience. Oh, we're starting, Scott. We're starting. We can start with introductions.
We're divided parties.
Well, it's right. Always right.
You guys are going, what's going on with this, man?
Okay, we're gonna start with introductions. First up is Mr. Scott Thomas. So please, tell us who you are. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Scott Thomas. I own Harbor Financial Mortgage here. I've been a resident of Spring Branch for about 24 years. Came down here in the Army in 1990. Worked with you a little bit, although you're Air Force, and have two beautiful daughters, 16 and 18. And that's about it.
Scott?
Yeah, you're welcome. What's up, Emily? Thanks. Nice to see you.
And we'll move back here to corner Doug.
Morning, Doug Leacock, running for county commissioner, precinct 1. We are in the 7th day of early voting. Election day is March 5th. I appreciate y'all's support. Love this group, and it's been fantastic to be here. Appreciate it and support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Okay, now we're gonna go, Ryan, you're next.
Hard to talk to.
Everybody, you gotta turn all directions. Yeah.
You want to dance? Ryan McDaniel, broker realtor for Keller Williams Heritage. Do a lot of work in San Antonio. Gravitating slowly up here. Drying keeps on pulling me back. So
Good, we don't want you like that.
Scott said he wants me up here, so that's why I come to this.
Hey,
Speak up. We can't hear you.
Stand up.
Speak up.
it's a tough crowd.
Emily Hudson, I'm a realtor, new construction mostly in the country, and I also run a design business called White Peach Design House, acrylic signage laser projects.
I'm Timothy Kretschmeyer. I'm the owner of Lotus Premier Landscaping, Round Lotus, and I met these two at the Home and Garden Show, and they invited me out, so I'm excited to come check.
My name is Andrew Cooper. I'm also with Timothy Kretschmeyer for Lotus Premier Landscaping. I met these two at the Home and Garden Show, and great to meet and network with you guys.
Started as sophomores in high school. They're in college now. They pay all their equipment off. Hungry entrepreneurs, and they need to be a part of it.
That's right. Got the right mindset. Impressed. Nick?
I like it. My name's Nick Disney. I'm a single-family real estate investor. Probably with mainly mortgage notes.
I'm Lou. I'm the flag guy. If you want to fly the flag, American flag, we bring them out, we put them in, we pick them up, we do the work. $60 a year, 6 holidays. And by the way, coming up, we have Memorial Day. 2 weeks later, we have Flag Day, and 2 weeks after that, we have 4th of July. Great time to fly.
He's older, retired, and this is my socially.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kim Gonzalez. I'm a firearms instructor with Carry with Confidence.
I'm Ken Duffy. It's so encouraging to see these young men and young ladies show up, interested. Didn't even know what entrepreneur was, so you became one, did you? Yes, sir. And I forgot to wear my I have voted sticker, right?
Aww.
Okay, all right. I'll put all of you under conviction.
We could draw it on there.
Yeah. I'm in the healthy living technologies business. We have been for over 30 years, helping people live healthier and wealthier and longer and younger. That's what we're
Right.
43, kid?
40. Yeah, 43 plus 40.
Tom?
Morning, everyone. My name is Kyle Ritter. I'm also a real estate agent. I do specialize in land, so whether you're looking to build a home or looking for some hunting property, talk with me. And also own a social media advertisement company for land. I guess that makes me a TikToker now because it's actually getting pretty big.
You Chinese?
He will be soon.
We're all Chinese.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right. Hey, everybody. Jeff Gibson. I'm with ESI PEO. We help business owners really do three things if they have employees: save time, save money, sleep better. So, see me if you guys apply to that. Thanks.
Good job. Good morning. I'm Jim Braun with Primerica. I educate people on how money works, covering crucial concepts that are not taught in the traditional school system. My goal is to help people lower their taxes, get out of debt 5 to 10 years sooner, lower their insurance costs, and potentially boost their insurance and investment or their investment returns. There's never a fee to meet with me, and there's no goofy sales pitch ever. Just straightforward advice. If you're interested, come and see me. Thank you.
Doug?
I'm Doug Palmer, HB Construction, kind of the dirt guy. I do dirt work, excavation, and brought a really great friend, Robbie. Stand up.
I'm Robbie Van Camp. I'm the founder of Kamal County Connectors, and just moved into our new home at Paradise on Guadalupe, December 16th. So pretty excited to be a Texan. Got my Texas tattoo done. Guns, dogs, trucks, America.
Nice.
So I'm here to die, live, die. I'm so happy to be here. We escaped Colorado. Life is good here.
Nice.
I visited y'all back last year before we moved in, and I'm back working and been helping small businesses for 31 years. It's what I love to do. I'm going to help Kamal County, and that's it. Anybody in Kamal County, I will work for you. I love to do it. So thank you.
Fantastic. And I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to introduce, let Chris and Denise introduce themselves. But Mike Johnson, I wear several business hats. I have a toner and ink business I've had for 25 years since I retired from the Air Force in '98. I've got a fireworks, Mr. W Fireworks location just down 281 here, seasonally, that you'll see me talk about that more or hear me talk about that more. And Bill Green Custom Homes just had a home show, fantastic home show, a lot of good connections, and a lot of people looking to build right now because the timing is right. And so I'm the guy to come talk to and figure out how you can build a custom home for a lot less than a normal custom home can be built for. So that is me, Mike Johnson, and Chris and Denise. It's on you.
I'll go first. So good morning, guys. Denise Martinez. My husband and I like to build, buy, and sell businesses. That's what we do. We have businesses ranging from wholesale distribution all the way to investment products, where you guys can get in on the action too. So if that interests you, just hit me up after the presentation.
All right, hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to today's presentation. Thank you all for being here for how to grow your audience in 2024. Kyle, I think you hit the nail on the head, bud. You're in for it. You guys, and this is proof of concept when we're done. You can talk to this gentleman. I've seen his numbers. I know they're real. All right, so first of all, how many of you guys are interested in growing your audience or growing the attention that you get on your company? All of you, right? Every single one. Okay, now I'd like to talk to a couple of people, 2 to 3 people. In what ways are you currently doing that? Can I show of hands, anybody want to? Jim.
I have several websites that I go on each day. I do a Monday and I do a Thursday, and I do posts. I do anything from both my Facebooks, my Alignable, Instagram. I do not do TikTok. I'm afraid of the Chinese. But yes, I have a series of that I put out there, content, and stay relevant. Nothing salesy, just things about me and what I do.
Excellent. Anybody else have another way that they do outreach or that they find more clientele or broadcast? Networking events. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, networking. Anybody else? Any other ways that you guys go out and find?
Chris,
Doug.
I actually met with you last week via Skype.
Zoom. Yeah, Zoom.
And we did a little video, and it was pretty fun. That was my first. And anyways, hopefully we'll help reach out to other people.
Sure. So far, that's basically what we've talked about is content creation, going to network, meetings, and just doing the handshaking, right? So, what is it exactly that we're talking about here? But this is sales and marketing. We're all here in a business capacity, in a professional capacity to meet new people, build relationships with people, money. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? That's the deal. Now, I guess I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Christopher C. Day. I'm a business builder, buyer, seller, and creator of many, many, many things. I'm also an online personality that hosts multiple video podcasts, Twitter Spaces, and other types of media productions. If you guys are interested as business owners to be guests on one of those types of shows, the Christopher C. Day Show is launching next month, which basically highlights San Antonio entrepreneurs and investors with the intention of putting them together, right? Because one thing that all entrepreneurs need is money, and all things that investors need is opportunity, right? So we want to put those things together to broaden our local horizons, right? Okay, so now we're talking about sales and marketing. That's what we're doing. So how do we do that for our companies? As small businesses, large businesses, medium-sized businesses, and business owners, what do we do? We mentioned content creation, right? That's fantastic. Let's start off at going back to the beginning of time. How did the first guy that whittled his spear tip, right? Or made his bearskin moccasins, how did he do it? Well, he either set up a little local shop or he went door to cave, man to man, right? To do that one-on-one individual outreach. That's how that happened until they kind of decided to build cities and towns and whatnot where they could put up a retail location. But as far as outreach, it was door-to-door sales. I mean, even back into selling mammoth bones, it was door to door, cave to cave. This is how we're going to do it. Moving on a little bit in time, we go into how do we reach more people? How do we go out and broaden our company? Because now, look, we moved to the Americas, and we happen to know a man named Benjamin Franklin. You guys heard of that guy? Yeah, sure did. And he came up with this fantastic idea of United States Postal System, right? And the Pony Express. Now we have direct mail ad campaigns. This is one of the first ways of mass outreach in our history that we can document right here in our country. This is how, as a business owner, you could put out information to the world. You know, it costs. You got to pay to play, baby. I mean, postage ain't free. But that's how you get the word out. Now, moving on down from there, we have the post office. Now you're in your local area. Now you've expanded to a local market. You can reach your entire local and regional community by putting up a poster at your local general store, right? Or by putting it up at your post office there or something like that. You're in your little town. Newspaper ads, print, billboards, reach the local community, right? As we're going through time. Then we come up with radio and television, mass outreach, larger area. So how are we doing it now? Well, I think you guys probably have done some of this. Cold calling on that telephone, right? Now, I'm moving you guys through, right? We're taking a little journey through the history of how this happens. You think about this because we're moving into a new time right now. Dude, it's amazing. If you guys don't see it yet, just hang tight. All right. So first we reach one person at a time, and then we get a local and regional outreach, right? As we move through time, we get a little bit of mass outreach. We can reach, the nation and maybe even the world with our telephone doing cold calling. And it's worked. People made billions of dollars doing cold calling. We all know that, right? We've probably all done some of that. Email marketing. How many of you guys use email marketing? Anybody? Is it successful? Is it productive? Somewhat.
A few percent, but it does work.
There you go. Okay. Text message. We moved further, right? You remember this back in the 90s? We had telephone and we had email where we got to do the one-on-one. We got to send individualized, personalized stuff, so it made you feel a little bit more connected. Then we get text messages. Now we got Starbucks popping up telling us about their best deal, or Sonics, every Tuesday, whatever they've got. Paid promotions and sponsorships. These are the ways that we can go about growing an audience with, current to modern technology. And then finally, what we're going to talk about is content creation. This is where we come into opportunity in 2024. Now, we've talked about all this other stuff, and who's tired of watching ads on TV? You guys tired of watching ads? Everybody? How many of you guys are tired of flipping through Facebook and seeing an ad, right? Flipping through whatever it is, and it's sponsored this and sponsored that. You're sick and tired of that, right? That's why we don't use it anymore. You guys all kind of put your phones down a little bit over the last year or two, right? You're just sick of it. What are you watching now? What are you looking at now? Is it TikTok? Is it live, authentic, raw footage of the people that you follow, the influencers in the industries that you're interested in, the topics that you are interested in? Is that where you're finding your information? Because if it is, you're looking at something new. So let's talk about content creation, right? First of all, how many of you guys actually create content for your business or hire someone to do that? Show of hands. All right, you either do it or you hire it because you know that it's valuable, right? Now, I think of content totally different than a lot of folks. This isn't just putting out a video or making a Facebook post. What is content creation? It's asset creation. Okay, a lot of people talk about buying assets, buying things that generate income. Look, this is the way for you to create it from nothing. In modern times, right now, Joe Blow, nobody, just starting off his XYZ company, create content. How hard is that? Look, you're looking at articles on LinkedIn, Facebook posts, right? Twitter snippets. Maybe host a space where you have some authority, right? And you get to talk to a large audience. The point is that it's free to create content. All of these things get to live as digital assets in the world for you that you or your company owns, right? To use for marketing purposes, sales purposes, and all of that. Just kind of like this video right here. Don't think for a second that this won't turn into 1,000 pieces of content. It won't be spread out over the next 6 months, just telling the world how wonderful, the opportunity of live video in 2024 is. So let's move on to that. So content creation, we've talked about that. We've talked about it being an asset. You're actually able to create a digital asset. Now, how does it make you money? Well, first of all, you understand affiliate marketing. Every time that you put out an article with an affiliate link, you have from now until the end of time a link to draw money from. Boom, pay link, right? Or maybe it's just a coin in the savings account of trust for you or credibility for you in your company. Maybe you've never done this before and you're brand new. The only way to build traction is to put out the content and let people see that you're the authority in the area. And how many followers do you have now?
20,000.
20,000 followers. Now, how long ago did you start that channel?
4 months.
4 months ago. I remember we spoke about this. That's, look, proof of what I'm saying here, guys. Create the content, put it out to the world in the most modern way possible, which is the way that we want to consume it, right? It's not the traditional way of how do we go about doing it, what marketer can I hire to pump out another sponsored ad that doesn't get any clicks. It's how do I actually grow the audience. Now, keep in mind, we're not talking about how do I get sales. That's not the deal here. That's a whole nother topic. It's how do you grow the audience? How do you get more eyes on you in your company? Well, if you want something larger than local, you want something larger than regional, it's a content creation thing. It's building those assets, putting them out to the world, and having them exist and working for you when you're not working, right? A digital asset is out there working for you while you're sleeping, while you're golfing, while you're at church, while you're watching the game, right? That's why you want to create these types of things for you. Now, so how many of you guys have ever heard the term video is the king of content? Anybody? Yes. Okay, good, because you're right. 82.5% of all web traffic on the internet is video consumption. So it doesn't matter what else you're doing. If you can be the best writer out there in the world, putting them out on Medium and Quora and putting all your articles out there and putting your blogs out there, 2024 don't care. 82.5% says make me a video that I can watch. All right. So if you know that, how many more newspaper ads are you fixing to buy? All right. How many more television spots to a community that doesn't watch cable anymore? How many of those you get by? Right. So now we know that content creation is the way to do that. We discussed that, right? We've all understood that. You all pay for it or you do it yourself. So now we can agree that it is building these assets. Now we also know statistically that video content is the king of content. So if you're going to create content to draw an audience, it only makes sense to put your time, invest yourself where it's going to be the most beneficial, right? Video content in 2024. So, let's move past that. I've got some beautiful things. Oh, good Lord, I lost my script. Hang on. I'm going to find it. Here it is. All right. Now, talking about the trends in video. What kind of videos should you make? How do you do this for you today? All of you guys are old enough to remember the stuff that I'm talking about right now. Early YouTube. If it wasn't a 15 to 30 minute video, you didn't watch it. It wasn't good. That's your how-tos, your instructionals, all your educational stuff that you saw back in the 90s and early 2000s. And I personally, at the time, I've always thought I had these little nuggets of gold in the middle audience, right? But they're only about 10 or 15 seconds worth of gold. All the other stuff's just trash, And nobody wants to watch a 15-second video in 1998. They just didn't, right? 2000 came around. Nobody wanted to watch that. It was 15 to 30 minutes or longer. They want to learn something. They want some education. They're wanting to get something from this, from this video. And then do we remember Vine right after that? The explosion of Vine, short-lived thing, but a 6-second increments. All of a sudden, we saw a shift in the way that people want to consume technology. They don't want the 15 to 30 minutes when they can get the same exact information, right, quickly through a series of images or moving pictures in seconds. You can all learn how to make that cake from that little tasty video that's click, 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 faster than watching Martha Stewart do it over her 30-minute, show on YouTube, right, or whatever. It's just faster. You get 3 eggs, some cake, some flowers, whatever. You don't need to watch the 30-minute production to learn how to do that. And we want to go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. We've learned that. So now a few new things have been born. You've got YouTube Shorts, right? You've got Facebook Stories. You've got Instagram Reels, and you've got TikTok. Short form content gets more audience and more traction than any other type of content created. You no longer need the 4-hour podcast. And just to prove that, go check out Joe Rogan. We all know Joe Rogan. Everybody's heard of Joe Rogan, and all of his podcasts were 3.5 to 4 hours long 3 or 4 years ago. They're still that long. You just don't see them anymore. Go to the channel and look. All you see are collections of 8 to 10-minute videos that are a clip of somebody talking about one thing, and then it's a ton of shorts made from that 4-hour video. No longer do we want to consume that long-form junk, right? So if you want to build the audience, say what you need to say it quickly, right? Say it again and again and again and again and again on every platform that you can. And video. Now we're going further. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. We're moving through it. So we're talking about the opportunity of video, period. Now there's a trend that's coming up, and this is where it really moves into the next iteration. Is anyone familiar with the term Web3? No? No? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to move you through. We are moving into a new iteration of the internet and the way that we use this. Back in the 90s, we all remember the early days of the internet where you opened up a website and it was a dictionary or an encyclopedic type of page. It was an informative page. It was the about page of a company, but there wasn't any interaction. It was later there became the store where you could click the buy button, right? But at first it was, if you want to learn something, how to do X, Y, Z. Somebody had written an article, somebody had put out a website about those things, and it was a collection of forums for those things. One-way communication, really. They put it out, someone can consume it and read it, and that's it. Then we come into the second iteration of the way we use the internet, and that was we call Web 2, which is what most of you guys are familiar with. And that's where we started using email, where we can now go between two parties. We started using chat rooms where we could sit in a room together with multiple people and have conversations. We started doing online forums where there were message boards. You guys remember AIM, remember Messenger, remember Yahoo, chats, all that stuff? Okay. You were able to connect on a global level, right? In a somewhat live capacity, if you're all sitting in the room, right? If you're all sitting in the chat room, then it's live, right? However, all of us have jobs too. Right? We can't do that. Can't sit in the chat all day. So we just saw a shift in the way that people use this. What we're coming into now is we're seeing that we want global connectivity all the time, especially since 2020. 2020, we all got stuck in our houses. We all lost or quit our jobs or whatever it was and learned what freedom was about for the first time in many of our lives, where you didn't have to go to work. For the first time, many of you guys got to sit home. For the first time ever, for like a year, and not have to go to work. I was fortunate enough to do that a few times in my life, but I saw the psychological change it put on our country. You know, the very first part of it was a little bit of fear, and then it was relaxation. And once they relaxed, so did the spending. And you guys saw it too. Nobody had a pot to piss in, window to throw it out of, getting money from the government, spending it left and right. Don't even understand that. They were relaxed. They were comfortable. They thought where we were at was an okay spot because for the first time, they got to unwind. Now, what else were they doing? They were consuming everything. We were all consuming everything during that time. Every piece of video content, every piece of art, anything that you could purchase. If you sold something, we all made money. None of you guys suffered selling anything during 2020, 2021. That didn't happen. Now, the people were, oh, woe is me because of the pandemic, but they were still hitting that card and hitting that button every darn day. And you all know. This is where I believe the real grasp on this new iteration of the way we use the internet, Web 3, came from. And it is global connectivity simultaneously. It moves us from just being able to talk to a global audience to having true interaction with that global audience. At the same time, on multiple platforms simultaneously. So now what you have done, if you put yourself in a place like this where you can be talking to a live audience here, all right, we're on YouTube Live here, Twitch Live here, could be Instagram here. We're in 4 dimensions. You understand that? We are talking to people from across the world in 4 different dimensions of reality simultaneously. This is the new iteration of the internet. This is how you used it. It is live video. Have any of you guys ever wished you could be a fly on the wall of that office executive of whatever position you wanted to have that you didn't know how they do it? Or what does this look like in real life? I have an aspiration to do X, Y, Z. I don't even know what that means or what it looks like. I just heard about it on the internet. What does a conversation like look like? What does a negotiation over millions of dollars look like when I've never even seen that? Could I sit down and watch that conversation and learn how the professionals do this? You can today. You can today. In the era of live video, all of the world's knowledge, resources, and experiences are accessible to you. Okay. Now, that being said, we're going to go a little further. Well, let's talk about a little bit of this, right? There's several platforms that we can go on that we can talk about using multiple dimensionality and live video format. Let's talk about the fastest growing today, right? Fastest growing today is TikTok by far. If you can do TikTok or TikTok live, it will be shown to a wider audience than any other platform in the world right now. However, to do that, there's subscriber limits, right? I believe it's 1,000 subscribers to, if you're a gaming channel, 10,000 subscribers if you're not, in order for you to even be able to do that. So how do you get there if you don't have any? If you started today, you have no followers, how do you do that? Well, there's several ways. There's other platforms that you can push into that do allow you to do this. Number one being YouTube Live. I'm going to go over YouTube Live just a little bit, but there's a reason that one, they're actually pushing it. Live right now, they're pushing the algorithm, if you're running live, to show it to more people than your audience ever has before. Is anybody in here familiar with Twitter Spaces? Anyone? Yeah? No? All right, let me explain what that is. This is, look, if you've ever wanted a podcast, wanted a show, right? This is free. Get on Twitter, push the microphone button, and you have a radio show that is global audience, right? That you can do from your cell phone, and that's all it is talking, talking, talking. You can invite people up to talk to you on stage. You can have conversations, everything. It is true global connectivity live all the time. You guys familiar with Grant Cardone? Yeah. You heard talk about Bitcoin lately? Yeah, well, here's something for you. Hey, now, look, everybody, if y'all are watching this, this is gold. Listen, it's not to do with this, but listen. How many people in here know what Grant's worth? The billions that his company's worth. How many of you, at what you make, which ain't billions, would spend 6 to 7 hours of your day, every single day, on live video, live Twitter Spaces, talking about the opportunities of Bitcoin? Not unless you're invested, baby. Big. In other words, buy some damn Bitcoin. That's what I'm trying to say. Hey, if they're doing it, thinking about it. All right, on to another subject, how to grow your audience. So these different platforms offer different varieties and different ways of connecting. And it's really up to you and how you want to use them. Is anybody familiar with Telegram or Clubhouse or Discord, right? I'm a Discord fan myself. It's a piece of digital real estate where you can build out rooms, channels, forums, and things to have kind of like a website, but totally interactive with a video chat channel. Why do you want that? So that you can build a community, a group of followers around what it is that you're doing. A place that's specific, or that people can go specifically to learn about you and your content, your business, your project, your company, and be engaging with that. Not have to search for you on here or there. They're part of an exclusive membership, right? They like that. All right. Zoom. We've all used Zoom. So we know now we don't have to go and sit at the big boardroom or the conference table or any of that and dress our best or anything. We really can be naked from the waist down because we do all our stuff by Zoom now. This is the virtual world. We're living, we're doing business. Not even in reality. Like really, you're not even in the real world, man. You're just on like some airwaves between cameras talking to people. That's it. That's amazing. This is an amazing way to communicate, way to do this. So we're all familiar with that. Has anybody ever tried VR chat? Virtual reality chat. Put on the old goggles, all of a sudden you're a whatever it is talking. All right. you now have the opportunity to become, act like, do whatever, whoever you wish to be in your private time. And I'll say in your private time, there's some weird shit that goes on in there. Oh, there is. Hey, I'll tell you. But the point is with today's technology, going with live, using the software that we have today, all of the things that repressed most of us, as we were coming up, those restrictions are gone. You're not limited by location. You're not limited by funding. You're not limited by any of those things in order to grow an organic audience. We're not talking about coming out of the bank, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go pay all these marketers and graphic people and all that. We're talking about sitting down at a Canva free program, pushing live on the phone and talking to the human beings who actually care about the stuff you're talking about, right? Which, isn't that the audience you're trying to reach? People that care about what you're talking about? Yeah, you don't want to talk to all the people that don't. All right. Now, moving on with that, what we have said is that live video, number one. Okay, that's the thing. First of all, video's king. Everybody understands that. Video's king. We've moved into that. If you're not creating video, you're losing opportunity. On top of that, today in 2024, live video is the king of content. That's really where you want to go. If you want to get traction over anything else, now I suggest doing two things. You want both, right? You want both. Why do you want both? Live video will be shown in the algorithm higher than anyone else. People will watch your live only while it's live. As soon as it's done, it's over, baby. Ain't nobody watching no 3 or 4 hour video after it's done. They expect you to come back, cut and edit, and give them the good version later, right? So they can watch it in 15 to 30 minutes, right? But they want that content. Now let's talk about the proof of this, because I can stand up here and tell you all kind of stuff all day long, and you can maybe believe it. But here's some actual statistics, right? Some real case study stuff. And this is from my own personal YouTube channel. You guys know me. I'm nobody. Just little old nobody over here in Canyon or Spring Branch, Texas, making videos with the phone or sitting there talking to you guys on a Zoom call. But in the last 28 days, I've had 15,500 views on the videos, right? 139 watched hours in the last. Now think about this. That's with average video size of 40 seconds to a minute and a half. So if the average video size is 40 seconds to a minute and a half, and I've got 139 watched hours, like somebody sitting there just watching this over and over and over, that's where you can go with short form content. That is a 381% increase over the last month. Okay. And that's when I started going live. That's when I started doing this. Now you're saying, well, hang on, you're not talking about live, you're talking about your shorts. They're 40 seconds to a minute and a half. I'm getting there. And just over the last 2 weeks, an extra 57 subscribers, which I don't really ask for subscribers too much. That's not 40,000. I mean, this is TikTok live, or excuse me, this is a YouTube live, right? Now, how did the viewers actually find me? Period. You can look that up or on my analytics, and it's from the shorts feed. 85% saw me from the shorts feed. So if I know that, then that tells me let's create more shorts content, right? Create more short content, 40 seconds, 30 seconds, minute and a half, whatever they allow you to do in that short form content, that will get more traction. So what really believes me to say that does? Well, vidIQ with several 100,000 subscribers right on YouTube, just put out a video 2 weeks ago. All of your streaming platforms going vertically will be pushing the algorithm live, right? The CEO of YouTube, as well as the project manager for YouTube Live, 1 month ago, said on live that they will be pushing the algorithm for vertical live streaming over anything else. So if you are someone who can pull out your phone and do this, you will be seen over the people who have the big production stuff. That's the beauty of it. It's over the people who are doing the big production thing. You, with your real, raw, authentic self and a cell phone, can reach more human beings. I wasn't sure if that was true. So the other night I said, hey, baby, let's go make a fire in the backyard and just hang out and sit around the fire and do a fireside chat, right? We'll see how many people actually show up to this vertical live. And I set it up on the thing. Now, it took me about an hour. I'll tell you right now, and it's live. It's going the whole time. And smoke's blowing in the camera. The dogs are barking over here. And, it was live, man. It kind of sucked. I was like, it's horrible. Never got to sit down. Never had a conversation. It was a full hour of the camera staring at a fire, crackling with smoke, and a bunch of people saying, shit, I mean, moving chairs and tables and doing things you're supposed to do, not online. and it got 179 views in the 45 minutes that we rolled it, and 3 hours worth of watch time. What? There wasn't even hardly any audio. They're watching nothing, but it was live. Why is that? Why did 179 people want to log in to see that? There was no hook. There was no fantastic title. It was a spur of the moment deal. It wasn't even funny. The audio was so bad you couldn't hardly hear it. So why did 179 people log in to see it when the average video gets like 4 people? You know, I didn't understand it. So as we go through the look, it's because if you are streaming live on vertical live, you show up in the shorts feed. Okay, your videos will be directed to the shorts feed, which the algorithm pushes much harder than the long form content. So now you get discovered easier. Twitch does the same thing. Excuse me, not Twitch. TikTok's the same way. As long as you're live streaming, you get shown over regular videos. That's a new deal too. So that is the deal, guys. Get in on live. Now, how do you do that? Right? How do you get in on going live? Right? How hard is it? What do you do? Like I said, pull out your cell phone. Every one of these platforms have a way for you to just push live, go live. It's not anything hard. It's not anything complicated. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. Go live. Wherever your audience is, live content will be shown over anything else. Now, what if you wanted to have a show? What if you wanted to do a live production, but you didn't want it to be some cell phone production? You want to have guests. You want to do things where you see the cool words pop up and everything else, like you know, what the big guys do, right? That's desktop streaming. Okay, so how do you go from desktop to streaming on mobile, right? Okay, there are ways to do that. If you guys are interested in learning that, I have a free seminar this Saturday at noon. Get with me. I've got a Zoom link. You can watch how to do that step by step. It takes about an hour to completely set up your program, where you can stream live multiple platforms simultaneously, vertically, so that it's push of one button to stream to multiple places in the way that you'll be seen the most. Other than that, that's what I've got to say on it. You can see, why would you want to do vertical streaming? You know, why and how? Well, first of all, multiple platforms simultaneously. You also get to control every aspect of the production. With a cell phone, you don't get to do that. It's go live, and this is what it is. Right now, that phone is just live, that's all. If you were doing this from desktop, maybe I drank too much coffee and I need to go that way. Be right back screen, right? Or maybe, you know, I know that we've got a couple of minutes to wrap up, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for everybody to leave yet. You can put ending soon screen, where it takes everybody off of here for a minute, lets everybody know what's fixing to happen. Or maybe, you know, I know you guys are going to talk for a minute, but I need to go live because I can't wait for the first person to say something before I push go. Boom, we've got hey, the show's starting soon. You know, little transitions from one to another, fades between one scene to the next, between one camera to the next. The whole time I'm talking, we should be right here on this camera. Now, if any of you guys have said anything at all, you should have been right there. Right? That's the whole idea. And it should pan back and forth because we're doing that on a desktop. You could not have done that from your cell phone. There again, if you want to learn how to do that, Saturday's the deal. It's free to learn. It's not a sales gimmick. Just come and learn. I need people on my Zoom to make more content. You know, hey, hey, I'm gonna bullshit you. I'm here with you every day. I'll tell you the reason I want you there. And because you want to learn this stuff. I mean, it took me how many years of putting this stuff together? How many hours of watching other people to do it, figure it out? Hey, I can show it to you now. You know what I mean? Pretty quick. All right, so how to stream from desktop. Now, guys, that's pretty much it for that. I do have a little bit of some discussion points that I really want to bring up because to me, this is a monumental thing in time. Like, I'm seeing some crazy things coming up. So now that we understand that videos came, everybody's doing it. 85% of all people even on the internet watching it. Everybody's creating it too. 82% of all marketers are using it for their companies. So that means, you know, the other 15%, they ain't doing it. We also know that we're in a completely surveilled society, right? And we used to worry about that. Oh man, the fiber optic cable, that's two-way. It's looking at us while we're looking at them. Oh no. Oh, the telephone's listening to us from 20 yards on the cradle. I know. I've been there. I've worn the tinfoil hat. I know. But now we really know. You're being watched, and it's not just by the eye in the sky. It's not just by you know, the surveillance camera at the grocery store. or on the traffic light or anywhere else they happen to have when we're in the middle of the satellites up there watching you. It's also Joe Blow neighbor who's making his TikTok in the driveway, right? It's the guy who's on his skateboard and his buddies are doing this while you're going in with your family to wherever location that you didn't want nobody to know, right? Or the guy who's walking through downtown, hey everybody, this is me, and they just walked by all the stuff that you didn't want them to see in your life. Point is, you are being surveilled, right? So if you're being watched, if you're being surveilled, also, well, first of all, how does that make you feel? And I would like to hear from at least 2 to 3 people. Does that make you feel safe to know that you're being watched, or do you feel alarmed? Raise a hand, somebody, please. Who do I got? Somebody with some opinion. Scott's got an opinion.
Shocker.
We all know we're being watched. It's a matter of what level, just like we've had the friends that wouldn't buy a Japanese or Chinese TV, or we had the prideful, how we've lost our whole, we've submitted to it because you can't beat it. So it doesn't really matter how you feel.
So you're numb to it, really.
I'm not numb to it. I'm very in tune to it, but I'm also discreet in how I minimize my exposure, but yet I maximize my exposure. So as much as I know it's on me, I try to utilize it. Mike and I, not that we're not TikTok influencers. We met this young guy at the Alamo Dome, but we threw a stupid video over at the bar one night drinking a couple of toddies, and we've got 45,000 views on there.
Right.
And so we're all inquisitive. I compare it to the ambulance. Don't look, but you want to look by that car accident. And so where I feel people are not taking advantage, one, you've got to create an audience where there isn't, right? But you've got to have content. You're either going to have the it factor or get around the it factor. There's so many devs out there that they're professional social media makers, and the only people they're captured is the 200 people in their family and their circle, and they don't know how to expand. You're paying for more.
Right.
It's all good until the money runs out. So introduce yourself until you can't anymore. I think you utilize that when you've utilized every other means, but a lot of people replace that for hard work.
Sure.
I think you need to do it in conjunction with hard work. The door knocking, the direct mail. We direct mail. That 8 seconds over the trash can holds value if it has content, right? But that's in conjunction with the Facebook, with the door knocking, with the community service, with the home show. It's about it's an ingredient to making a cake, and it's not the end all ingredient to make that cake. And I think a lot of people are consumed in making that one thing through social media that they lack the content of what it takes when they get the what is or how to, and they don't know how to respond because they're professional media marketers because they missed their calling in Hollywood or being a news reporter. Don't replace it.
That's one of the reasons that I like the live aspect of it is, think about it, a lot of our jobs are boring. I don't know if you guys feel that way about your own job, but sometimes when I watch myself work, I'm sitting at a computer all day. That's it. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's nothing. But to know that those things that you do know, what you're working on and how you're doing it, there's some people out there that don't know, right? They want to know how that looks. So you have the opportunity to really tell your story. And that's where I'm getting at. I don't know how people feel about it, whether they feel alarmed or whether they feel safe because they're being watched. I personally, it doesn't matter. We're at that point in time, right? We're at that point in time. It's happening. So do you take control of your own narrative? Who do you want to tell your story? Do you want it to be that eye in the sky? Is that who it's supposed to be? Is it supposed to be the little clip that everyone else has taken as you were a passerby, right, in their life? Or do you pick up your camera, turn it on, and tell your story and be the main character and what you've got to put out there in the world? Anyway, that's what I've got to leave with. Oh, no, you know what? I do have another one. If you're that guy and you have value in whatever your job is, whether you're a dirt worker guy or whether you're in financing or real estate or anything else, we all can agree that you have a skill set that other people don't know, other people don't have, other people want. I know that because you paid to get it, and so will they, right? To get that skill set. Do you not have a responsibility to the human race to share those experiences, knowledge, resources that you're actually able to do today, do you feel that you should share it or should you not? Should you keep those things private because you paid for it? Or should you utilize what you got, expand and give, to the people who are looking? Just food for thought, man. You don't have to answer me right now. Hey, thank you. That's the end of this stream, and catch you on the next video. That's it. Please do like, share, and subscribe.
I have a question, Chris.
Yes.
Stay back.
I don't know if you spoke on it before I got here, but I think it's easy to, get views to content, but my question is keeping them there.
Sure.
So did you talk about that at all, or have you seen any statistics on that, or even with your own stuff? Like,
right. Well,
actually engaging them to where they want to stay and keep watching your videos, very different than them just tuning in and tuning out. And
yes,
then suddenly your views have gone up.
Yes, it is. Now, so far, my retention rate, I am having quite a bit of returning viewers. Now, I'll say out of the thousands, it's like in the low hundreds. Totally lower percentile, right? But that is because of the engagement. Now, I'll also say that I had no growth for like the last 2 years and still putting out videos the same way. Same rate, same everything. Nothing's really changed other than some of the production quality and the fact that I'm doing more things live. Well, that's why I was telling you the watched hours. I've got 1,500 watched hours just on my live content in the last 2 weeks. And all I've done, like literally all I've done for 2 hours, I'll sit there and edit videos where it's a camera sitting there looking at the back of my head, right? While I'm playing another video that I just got done editing. It's playing. They're just sitting here watching a little clip up in the corner of me talking to somebody else while I'm muted. And the whole time they're watching my screen share as well, where they can see my mouse clicks to what I'm actually working on. People want to see that. Now they're entertained by the video that's going on because it's informative stuff. It's a good video, right? At the same time, they can follow along with my work process and my workflow and see how to do these types of things. I mean, it took me 6 hours to put out how to take 1 hour and a half long video and turn it into 100 pieces of short form content. And it took me 6 hours to stream it. But now, in 6 hours, I can create 100 pieces of totally unique content that anybody can do. And I gained 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 followers, by doing that. And all I did was push go live, doing the same exact job I would have been doing sitting at my house. Sitting at my house, by the way. That's the point. Sitting at your house. You're not in some office doing whatever fancy thing, having to rent the studio and put the time. It's sitting at your house, putting your cell phone on your desk on a little tripod like that. $15 on Amazon. Go live. And all of a sudden you get the traction. Now there again, if your content's not great, you're not going to keep it. That's it. The idea is, how do you reach them in the first place? How do you reach them in the first? Now I can't tell you how to build hooks and titles and thumbnails and how to make your content good and original. That's up to you. Know your audience. Yeah, know your audience. Know who you're talking to. Today, my audience is you. You. All of you guys who own businesses, who produce content. The whole idea of today's message is for you to understand that, first of all, video is king. If you want to grow an audience today, the fastest way to do it is video. On top of that, the fastest way to do it is live video. Now, keeping them, retaining them, doing a good job, be good at your job. Just be good at your job. My part is this. And if you want to know the technicals, gotta do it on Saturday. That's all. All right. Any other questions, by the way? Yes.
I think that you have to be extremely lucky to immediately jump on social media and start getting all these thousands of views and likes and really get your content pushed out there.
Sure.
The name of the game at the end of the day is consistency.
Exactly.
Like you just said, it took two years to start seeing growth.
Oh, sure. And right now, speaking of that, when I look at how many videos in the last 28 days I've actually put out, it was, I want to say 66 actual video or short form videos, 20 something long form videos, and another 40 something lives, right? So that's a lot of video production. It sounds like a lot, but really when 2 or 3 of those are streaming at the same time over the same 45-minute period, and I probably got 7 to 10 watched hours sitting here over that 1 hour we talked about this, that means that collectively people just watch 7 to 10 hours worth of content. Now look, you only have to have a certain number of hours before you're monetized on any of these platforms, right? Which means they start putting ad placement on there and you start generating revenue. Now I don't generate any revenue from any of those. However, if you're putting links in there for all of the products and services that you do, now think about this. If I put out 100 videos that was based off of one conversation, it was a mentorship or an advice conversation that was good, that people see value in, At the bottom, there's a link if you want the same type of mentorship or advice or consultation. Book the call. I mean, now they know what they're getting. He's an asshole, and this is how he talks to people. Either I want to pay for that or I don't. But I don't have to lie to them. I don't have to make a fancy graphic. I don't have to make some fancy text. It's a video. This is what it is. This is real life. You're going to resonate with your people. Is my point. Whoever it is, it's your audience. You will resonate with them, and most people will follow you. If you work hard to put it out all the time, and they come to expect it, right?
But you know, if you weren't consistent, like I've watched Kyle, and he's absolutely right. His TikToks, I've watched from 10 likes. I watched a video last night, but it's elegantly done, it's consistently done, and it's intriguing and captures your eye. So it's not, and he's a 3M. He's not inventing the product, he's making it better based on what I've learned. He's not spending hours doing the drone footage, doing the cinematography. He's taking that image from someone else that's already done it and made it better.
That's right.
But he's consistently pumped it out every single day. And you've got videos with what, 50,000 views easily?
My biggest is 3 million right now.
3 million?
Only 3 million?
Easy.
Emily, what do you got?
Yeah.
So I have one that went viral. It was literally the dumbest one I've ever done. It was some Kim Kardashian voiceover, and it has many millions. And I'm like,
Really?
then there's some that I've spent a ton of time on, and they did not do well. So.
Well, and that's the reason that I brought it to live, because we've all been putting out videos forever. We see how the algorithms do what they do. One thing that is fact right now is that if you're going vertical live, you will be showing more people. That is the whole point of this. It doesn't matter if you made a video, that's how you want to do it if you want the most exposure. Just because the companies want that. Like they want more people to follow suit. They want more people looking at that content, so they'll show you just because you're using it. So I remember when Facebook groups first came out with their live stuff. If you did anything live with there, you would get hit. For probably 10 years, I ran all my businesses on Facebook. Man, I didn't have to go to work. It was great. Just people hit the buy button, going to the shop, doing all that. Now, man, I can put $500 on one ad and not get clicked. But, you know, YouTube's a whole other story.
But sometimes doing an event will create a click. For example, I built my little mining company, Swiss Valley Mining Company.
Oh, I meant to ask
All right,
that.
here we go. On Craigslist, back in Craigslist ad days, set it on that, booked 22 events the first weekend, that paid for my business. I haven't done a single thing since, but when we did the Sunshine Academy for Hearing Impaired, oh yeah, you called me, my bad. Sorry, man. Just remember that. We had 209 children that we ran through our little mining company. They all took home bags that said Swiss Valley Mining Company. I had 113 more likes now. So sometimes by doing it the other way, it creates content that leads you to the web. That's right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Off of that, statistically, I know that every year when I donate that to Swiss Valley Mining Company, from that the byproduct of a tsunami effect will be, I'll get clicks, then we'll get what is or how to, which is every single salesperson's phone call. What's the price? How to. Search on the internet, do some list out afterwards. Right? And once you create that, that's what you want. All this content is to get that what is or how to. And you know, there's a little phrase that says, oh, a woman knows in 1.3 seconds if she's gonna blah 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 with a man, is what comes out of his mouth that determines that. That is the truth. Being single recently, it is true.
Currently.
Currently. But the same applies to everybody else in every other aspect of life. And you can have the greatest, spend all this, and someone says, hey, what is the path to build my dream? If you don't flow out of your mouth and know, all your time is wasted, right? So grow your product organically inside out, not outside in. Grow your business inside out, not outside in. And that will come. And I think it's people are misled because that is a lot easier to say, look at me, versus, hey man, I can't understand a 3-2-1 buy down on London library from your amortization. Well, that sucks kind of learn that. I'd much rather go, hey man, look at my big nose. Work at home and garden show this weekend. Click, boom, who am I getting to?
But see, I want to watch the guy explain that to me. I want the guy who does what you do to push live and tell me about that so I can learn. That's what I want to use it for. Not so much the marketing purpose, but the actual real organic reach. You know, there's people who want to know what you do. How do I do that? How do
Come to my
do that?
class on Tuesday, March 5th at Old Republic Title.
That's
We
right.
are having a class at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
But also, if you gave a snippet of that, like
Yeah.
not the whole thing, but a little bit, instead of just come to my class, but a little snippet of, you know, I don't.
You gotta pique their interest.
I'll share this with you. We do live videos that we stream. We have in our catalog if you go to our Bill Green website. The one that we've done on finance, I get calls every single week.
Yeah.
Every single week. Hey Scott, watch your video. Now they know me. A cold call. I don't make cold calls. They're warm calls, right? Right. And so I do have content out there. I make some crazy stuff. I learned through Donald Trump's election that
He does make crazy stuff.
attention is attention.
That's right.
And I fed the homeless. I know I got to get an F you before I love you, so I don't care if I fed you up for I don't care. In that sense, because now I've got your attention, you're gonna know my name, right? I don't have to put a billboard up. People knew Ellinger's name, so but then it's what comes out of my mouth. What's next?
Yeah, what did Gary Vee say about attention? He said something about
Attention
attention.
is the greatest asset in 2024. Attention.
I'd be curious about like conversion rates, right? From like the views, the followers, to then who are you actually closing deals with, and how much is that industry specific? Like I know on the residential side of real estate, there's a lot of resi realtors like Heather or yourself who or you as well, utilize social media, right? A lot, and it does convert. It converts to closing deals. I'm on the commercial side, right, in real estate, and our brokerage as a whole is just now starting to really leverage social media and doing that with consistency. But we personally haven't seen the fruits of that yet. Like our deals close from really relationships and then referral as a byproduct of that. But I'm just curious, like for people who are doing this, where are you seeing the conversion rate and what industry are you in? Because I think about like Brandon, who I don't think is in here today. I think, he's great at his social media too with the pest control stuff. But like, I'm not going to sign a contract with him because of his social media, right? I did that because of a personal relationship and meeting him here. And so I'm just curious if anybody has information there. Like, are you really seeing a conversion rate from it? And do you think it's because of your industry? How much does that matter, right? Like, am I going to, sell a $10 million building downtown because of a social media post? Probably not. But maybe.
But could you be the person that is known in this city to be the one that everyone would think about when they think about commercial real estate?
I mean, I get that because you blasted your name out, and so it's like the sign 444 4444. You just see it everywhere, so you know he's a busy. But you know what? Honestly, what is he? Is he injury law? Like all I know is he's some attorney I can call, and I've memorized the digits. Yeah.
But if an attorney that went through
But
undergraduate
how good
school,
is that conversion
law school, spent all that money, and then becomes an advertising junkie like we are supposed to be as salespeople, what makes us think we're above and beyond not doing at least what a guy that's gone through law school does and has that branding and recognition? Guess what? If a realtor presented a methodology like that, they'd be the richest realtor in the world. Right. Commercial or resi, commercial, whatever. But if you say, call me at that 444,
well, that's what
I
I'm
think
curious.
you own the
Who's
freaking
seeing
market.
it, right? Who's seeing the conversion rate and
Well,
what does that look like for you
that's
in your
on-
industry?
that's
based
the
on
point, is how
industry
you
to industry.
utilize it.
That's
Right.
what I
Like
think.
if you
That's
do-
what I think too.
Like for me, I'm doing the real estate side of things. Someone that hit me up on social media 3 months ago. We're gonna go look at a ranch up in Johnson City in June. So it's that 6 months relationship that I have to maintain. But we were introduced through social media. Now, if you go through like an e-commerce thing that you just click buy courses and all that stuff, then you can really see a faster conversion rate.
When I ran out of here 10 minutes before you're talking, I'm sorry about that. Troy French, who your husband works with, a client that we've been working with for 9 years, that went to one of our first seminars, that went to our last seminars, just contracted. It was like, hallelujah. 9 years. So what's your conversion rate? What's your objective? To get a sale? Probably pretty low. Is it in conjunction with something else that comes organically through this, that, and the other? I think
I use my social media not as much to reach new people necessarily. I run a mom's Facebook group. Every person I meet, I immediately friend them because the second I'm meeting them, I'm forming a relationship as a person outside of real estate. They're like, hi, I'm Emily. I work for Big Realty. You're gonna see that when you follow my social media. When I post it, I don't need to tell you that. I'm gonna form a genuine relationship with you.
oh, that is a
And
realtor.
then that's an advertisement for me. So converting, not necessarily in the way of like reaching, I do reach new followers and I do follow that way. And the other way is to stay in front of people. I'm doing pop buys, I'm doing this, but it's like a constant reminder to people so that when they say, oh, I'm ready to sell,
They think about you.
it's not a question because they've seen my stuff every day. So are they a new follower? Not necessarily, but there's someone in my sphere and I don't need to plaster my real estate stuff everywhere on my
So you're leveraging it in a different way.
It's like Scott said with that piece of mail, they look at it for 8 seconds, throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
They're looking
Because
for
I'm not
Facebook
doing a
and see-
444 commercial, I'm not doing a billboard, and I'm not, that's, you know what I mean?
We've got another question
free.
over here, Jim.
It's free.
Well, more of a statement. So I have to be careful because I have a federal license and I can't, with that, if I'm not licensed in the next state, then, I'm licensed all around Texas because if I'm doing social media and my content gets outside of the borders, FINRA comes down on me pretty heavily. And so one of the things that I use social media for and have all these websites and everything is for wherever I go and I meet people like you. The minute I met you, I Googled you, right? And I'm like, geez, this dude's somebody, right? And that's what I want. I know if I go meet a business person or I sit with somebody in a network group, they turn around and go, I want to find out who this guy is, right? And you got all the, and they go, okay, he's not just some Joe Blow. So I use it for that also, because I've had people turn around and say, hey, I Googled you and I was impressed.
And then to check out mutual connections.
Right.
We discussed that.
Hey, we found each other. I mean, it was very weird that you friended me. I saw we had 14 connections. I said to myself on Facebook, I need to meet this guy someday. And that next morning, he sat at our table right here at Kite's World. That just blew my mind.
But here's what I'm going to go against that, in my own way, not against that, because I work with all these. I'm going to speak into that. I go to every builder out there in Bell Oaks, and they all praise Jesus. They all drive a Ford F-350. They all wear a Rolex watch. Half of them are broke, half of them are cokeheads, and half of them are going through divorce. Okay. So I think that what people when you have to, I always was taught that if they know you by your occupation second, you're going to win. And so the biggest sale,
I agree with that.
the biggest sale that you got in this industry, that's it. And I see people come out, and I do this, and I have this, and I do this foundation, I do that. I don't tell people. I have people go, damn, I didn't know. I didn't know you did. Right? So how are you getting yourself out there? If I'm out there selling them, hi, I'm this, I got my 63, my 7, I'm so out. Right? I want to create that what is or how to, man. That dude's a cool, or that dude's a mess.
Well, if you go on my social media, I don't mention anything about it. It's just all about what I do for people from a personal standpoint. There's nothing business on it.
Right. I think you should mix it.